Well, hello, everyone. I hope everyone's doing great. We are back to Facebook Lives, which is kind of cool. And look who we have, Jessie Harrison. This is a big deal to us, y'all, because it's so great when we find women that are really representing the sport, not only professionally, but as a competitor. And Jessie brings such a great deal of poise and grace to our sport and is a great role model for everyone. And so we're really glad to have you. Krista, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. And I'm also excited for Jessie to join us today and share kind of her journey. We're going to prompt you with some questions. So just to throw it out there, what really kind of is in the forefront is this recent win with the ladies champion win at the 2022 Racegun Nationals. So we're definitely going to have to talk about that. So Jessie, what's going on in your world today?
Well, today is actually a very busy day, but I wanted to start with saying thank y'all so much for having me on here. I've followed everything y'all have done with Shoot Like a Girl for years now, and I know with some involvement with Taurus as well, and I just think it's such a great thing that y'all are doing for the women in our community, and I hope to watch y'all continue to grow and expand and just keep doing all the wonderful things you're doing. But today, so we just finished with the USPSA Racegun Nationals, where I competed in the open division, and I'm back home still training. Typically, this would be the end of my shooting season after nationals, but since this year we're having our IPSC World Championships, which is basically our Olympics for the sport, which is being held end of November, early December in Thailand. We came home from nationals and it's right back to training and getting ready for that. So, and on top of that, planning a wedding. So I have a big plate full of details.
Yeah, lots of details. And yes. Thailand sounds pretty good, but I want to back up just a little bit because I want to talk about that because we really wish you well at that tournament.
Thank you.
But I saw that you started out really cowboy action shooting with your family. And
I did.
To me, that is so cool. And what's your name in cowboy action shooting? I know everybody gets a name.
My alias was Jasmine Jessie.
Very cool.
And it wasn't anything scary or had a lot of attitude. I wasn't particularly the same person then as I am now. I'd probably pick a cooler name, but a cowboy that shot at the local club that I grew up at, he picked the name for me. So it's very special to me.
Very, very cool. And can you tell folks a little bit about that? Because that's a great entry sport that families can go to and have a good time at, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think cowboy action shooting is a great entry level sport. And like you said, it's very family involved. It does require a little bit more to get into the sport because you have to find the firearms. You have to have period date firearms. So that's going to be single action revolvers, lever action rifle, and a pump action shotgun or a double barrel. So you have to have these firearms that are from, circa 1800s. And then you also have to dress the part. So they have requirements on the clothing that you have to wear, but pretty much anything that looks, cowboy movie related, that's what you have to wear. And then you also pick an alias. The shoe.
Uh-oh.
But it's a very easy sport to get involved in, and it's very family involved. I always like to say that shooting a cowboy match is going to a social event that you get to shoot a little bit at versus what I do now is like, we're going to compete. It's hardcore competition and then we'll socialize after. So, but I love it. Some of my fondest memories are from cowboy shooting.
That's very cool. And talking about, your hardcore competition now, one of the things that we notice in the press and in your social media is that you all have a great camaraderie with your fellow competitors. Can you talk to us about that a little bit? And how do you rise to such an elegant sportsmanship place?
So to touch on the camaraderie within the sport, I think where everything is at now, I think it has come so far. So when I first got into USPSA, there was your core group of ladies, and those were your match contenders. And I felt like I had to ease into that and earn my place among them. But that group of ladies, and that's Kay Micklick, Lisa Munson, Athena Lee, Julie Golub. That was such a strong female support group because they all knew each other very well. They were very welcoming to me and newcomers as we, started showing up in the ranks. And then we also had the support of the organization. So we had a ladies super squad at the time. There were more ladies teams going to world shoots. And then at some point, things just kind of drifted apart, and we no longer had our ladies super squad. So the ladies weren't put together at our national championships. We didn't have these teams going to world shoots. And you also didn't see as many ladies in the sport at that time. So it made it like you lost that camaraderie and support group when you go to a championship. And even though it's an individual sport, like I'm showing up to compete for me, it's still nice to have, your squad mates be there to support you. And when you do good, like they recognize that and cheer for you. Or if something goes wrong, like they're like, they just kind of help pick you back up. And I feel like we're back in a place with that now with the ladies that are shooting currently. And we also have a lot of support from the organization. Again, they brought back our ladies super squad, and our new president, Eamon Lee, he's really supportive of shooters in general and is just doing a lot to help grow the sport from within. And I think with, having the group of ladies that we do now, I feel like it's one of those classic groups like was present when I first started. So, I think you asked me earlier about, like if people are supportive or like catty or vindictive in any way. And I feel like I can truly say all of the ladies that I shoot with currently are 100% down to earth, good-hearted women that have all the best intentions in competition and have integrity in competition. Right. And that's something that I respect greatly and hope that I'm putting the same thing out and they see that as well. So,
right. That's wonderful to hear. I mean, you hear on the local level, like the small town new shooters, all that stuff, the shooter clubs, that they're very welcoming. You'll see social posts where someone will say, I really want to get involved in this sport, but I'm afraid. Yeah. And almost everyone is like, no, come, it's going to be okay. Yeah. And so it's good to hear that happens or is happening now.
Absolutely. Yeah, we had some newcomers, or not newcomers, but like this was their first national championship and they were on the ladies squad with us. And I think that's great because it gives them insight into one, how big this match is, how big of a deal it is. But then it also breaks down that barrier of, oh, this is so intimidating. I'll never be able to shoot at a national level. Well, no, just jump on in with us, So I think it's great. It's like you said, it has that welcoming feeling of, yes, it's like a local match. Time to shoot. We're here to shoot, but after that, we're going to celebrate and lift each other up. But it's an experience all in itself.
Right. Way to be an individual within a team mentality kind of thing, right? Because you stand alone and compete against yourself. Yep. We actually have a comment. Mm-hmm. It leads kind of to my question I was going to ask next. It's from Minnie Lou. She says, it's never too late. I got my first handgun and took lessons 2 years ago at age 68. I love it. I wish I had gotten involved years ago. So I was going to ask you, how old were you when you got involved in the actual like shooting as a sport? Not necessarily competing, but beyond that first steps.
So just shooting as a sport, like I grew up on the range. I was born into a shooting family. My mom and dad shooters. We didn't do a lot of sports growing up. Our sport was going to the range. So I kind of had no choice of what I was going to do. But I was probably 6 or 7 when I first started shooting. And that was, plinking at the range with my mom, my dad, and my brother. My dad would have to carry the rifle for me. I wasn't big enough. I'd have to sit in his lap at bench rest. But I loved it. And I felt like looking back, I feel like I had a natural talent for it. And then I didn't get into competition shooting until I was about 15 years old. And that was 100% my decision. My dad would ask me occasionally, hey, do you want to shoot this match with me? Are you ready to shoot a match? And I just wasn't ready, not for any one reason or another. I just didn't want to. And thankfully he didn't push me to do something I wasn't ready to do myself, because I feel like had he, I don't know that I would have continued in the shooting sports as long as I have. And I'm thankful that he kind of let me find my way into the shooting sports with his guidance once I decided to take it on. But I am thankful that he gave me the freedom to kind of navigate it and pick it up when I was ready. But I was 15 when I shot my first competition. So,
and then you started winning, and I think you've won and won and won, which is really great. But that doesn't come without a lot of practice and a lot of discipline to be better. Like, how many rounds would you say you shoot when you're getting ready for a match?
For a match, it honestly just depends on like how many matches a year I have, how much time I have to prep for each particular match. My shooting season starts usually like end of February, early March, and then goes through October, November, depending on if it's a world shoot year or not, or when nationals fall. But within February, March to October, November, I go through probably about 50 to 60,000 rounds a year.
Wow. And do you actually take the time off on that break between October, November, and
she's filming TV shows during
I don't touch my guns as soon as I shoot my last match of the year until it's time to start training the next year. I don't touch my guns. I try not to go to the range. I know that sounds bad. I try not to go to the range unless it's to sight in a hunting rifle, but it's just because that shooting season time frame is so intense for me, between like physical training in the gym, counter in competition. It's very intense. And then just the competitions themselves, mentally, physically, it's very taxing. And I have to step away completely to get that break and just to kind of reset, refresh. Otherwise I would burn out so quickly, and it just wouldn't be enjoyable for me anymore.
That's really actually great advice for anybody that's passionate about something, because when your passion becomes your chore, it's no longer fun.
Exactly.
So I understand. So I mentioned, I know that you do a lot representing the industry with the NRA and some TV shows, and that you like to hunt as much as you can. So what is your favorite thing to hunt?
Oh goodness. This is I have to say favorite thing to hunt probably would be out Midwest, and either like I love to spot and stalk hunt. So I grew up in Georgia on the East Coast, and we hunt different here than people do out in the Midwest. So here you get in a tree stand or a ground blind and you just sit and wait, and you hope you pick the right stand that day. Out west, it's more spot and stalk because the land is so vast, and I love the spot and stalk type of hunting better. So I would say probably either whitetail or muley or elk spot and stalk hunt in the Midwest would be my favorite.
Very cool. Very cool.
That is cool. Well, we got to spend a little time because we're going to talk a little bit about Taurus, right? So Taurus is your partner, right? That's what you shoot is Taurus USA. And y'all have been running a series of videos on Instagram recently that we've been watching.
Yep.
Some things from concealed carry. I saw one not long ago that was, I think, what to do when you go to the gun store, something like that.
Yes. Yep. So these are all of these series. There's a couple different series, and as you said, you're seeing them roll out. Some of them are themed different. This is the brainchild of our new marketing director, Cody Osborne. He came on earlier this year, I believe, and he came on board and just started like cranking out all these great ideas. And that's what you're seeing with all of these series videos that are going out. And I think they're, because information, these are things that I get asked constantly, and you just can't really find all of that information anywhere. So he kind of thought, let's put it all in one spot and send it out. And so far we've gotten great feedback from everything. There's still some stuff in the series to release. And then there's some good, I think the one Tools of the Trade, that series, some really cool videos in that one coming out. That one's more where Casey and I can kind of talk about like our competition stuff, maybe mindset, or I think we do like a gear bag dump. And that one was really funny. So there's some good stuff yet to have been released.
That is a pretty cool format. It's very casual. I noticed in watching them, it's conversational, right? So it's not, here's this and this and this, is this what you should do? It's just a conversation back and forth between two people that can share that information.
Yeah. And I think that's more relatable to people as well. I think that's easier for them to grasp and get information that they need instead of someone, you know, in a different setting. So I think that was our goal, is to make it conversational, easily palatable for someone.
Yep. And that's great. So Elizabeth commented that she had always been afraid of guns, but then faced her fear. And I think these kind of video series really help people go and learn that knowledge, the only thing that combats fear is knowledge. And so when there's a place that they can go and they can get that information to make them have a more comfortable decision, it's just really awesome. And we appreciate everything so much that you're doing. These go so fast. I'm always amazed that these are like start and then they're over before we even know it. We're going to see if we have any questions. I'm going to open it up for anyone to chat a question to us. We are getting a lot of comments that they love having us on and getting to see you. And I want to wish you not only the best of luck in your wedding nuptials, but really,
thank you.
The tournament in Thailand, IPSC, is that how you pronounce it? Yeah. So I am super excited to see how you do there. Nothing like packing your plate full, but
I know.
If anyone can do it, you can. And really take my sincere appreciation. I just love seeing women that stay professional in this sport and really represent us. And you've been in the industry a long time, but there are a lot of women that kind of started breaking down some barriers, and you've continued to break down barriers for other people. And you're just such a joy to watch, and we are really honored that you spent some time with us today. Christy, you got anything?
Thank you so much.
No, Jessie, we wish you the best of luck. We'll be cheering you on from the States.
Thank you.
And, we hope to have maybe a follow-up Facebook Live sometime over your break, right? We'll give you a break.
I would love to have a victory follow-up.
Right. And you can share with us how that experience was and share it with the followers as well.
I'd love to. Thank y'all so much for having me on today. And again, I appreciate everything that y'all do as well for our industry and for the women of this sport. And I wish you well with everything and your expansion with your company coming up. So thank y'all so much.
Thanks, Jessie.
Thanks, Jessie.
All right, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye.